Hi, my name is Kristie, and I'm excited to be part of this wonderful ministry, Mother and Refuge of the End Times. As you may or may not have noticed, I'm actually sitting in a wheelchair. I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy shortly after birth and have been confined to a wheelchair my entire life. Now, I often get asked, how can I have such a strong faith given my disability and the struggles that accompany it? My response has always been that a disability is always and in every case an ability, as well as an extraordinary opportunity to grow in holiness and to bring others to Christ. Each and every human person has been chosen to know, love, and serve God in a way that only they can fulfill, in a plan that only they can complete. Everyone is called to holiness, but though this call is universal in a sense, it is also individual and personal and totally unique to anyone else's calling. Through our strengths, weaknesses, abilities, and disabilities, God has gifted each and every one of us with a capacity to love and be loved as no one else can, and to proclaim the gospel of life as well as to live it. Society often views persons with disabilities as being broken and in need of some kind of healing. In St. Matthew's account of the healing of the paralytic, we read that Jesus didn't heal him of his physical disability because he thought of him as being broken, but rather he forgave his sins first. And then, to prove his divinity to the crowds, he then told him to take up his mat and walk. Now, even with this viewpoint, I've had many moments in my life where things just seemed to get too tough. And I would get angry with God that he allowed me to be so dependent on others and limited in what I could do for myself. These moments, however, were short in duration because I would think back to my parents who never let me use my disability as a crutch. They taught me that where God may limit my abilities in some areas, he would more than make up for them in others. Now, education was a huge value in my family, and my parents knew that in order for me to be independent as an adult, that I would need to get a college education. I would not be able to perform any physical jobs, so I'd need an education where I could use my mind in order to be employed. Thanks to their constant support and encouragement, I achieved what many individuals with disabilities had not, and I earned my degree in biomedical engineering. God also had another plan in mind for me while I was in college. It was at Texas A&M University that I was converted to the Catholic faith, and it was there that my life became richer and fuller. The Lord gave me a love for speaking in the church, and a pretty good talent to go along with it. Until that point, I was rather reserved and shy, so speaking in front of large groups was definitely out of the question. It was just a few years out of college that I was blessed to serve as Miss Wheelchair Texas 2006, where I got to spend a year doing pro-life work by serving as the state representative and advocate for persons with disabilities. If you had known me back then you would know that this was a huge challenge for me because I focused very little time on my disability, let alone even talk about it, because in my mind, I was completely normal. My friends had to remind me that God had given me the ability to communicate well when there were so many individuals who couldn't even talk due to the severity of their disabilities. So I was given the unique opportunity to be the voice for so many who did not have one. It was such a humbling experience for me, and one that I will treasure for the rest of my life. My husband Tim and I continue to work in ministry today. In addition to doing voiceovers for Mother and Refuge of the End Times, we run a ministry called Eyes to See and Ears to Hear Ministries, and we invite you to find us on Facebook. Tim has authored 2 books, one that I will be showcasing in an upcoming video, as it's a children's book that he wrote about me, entitled It's All in God's Plan. It's essentially a conversation between my angel and me while I'm in my mother's womb, where he explains God's extraordinary plan for my life. Thank you for watching this video and for supporting this channel. Through this work, may Almighty God enlighten our intellects and raise our hearts and minds beyond the natural realm and into the supernatural, beyond this world and into the next. May God continue to bless each and every one of you.